Hi there, and welcome to the last day of our course, The 7 Rules of Adept English. Well done, you made it through to Rule 7. You're showing that you're persistent. You are good at keeping going, at continuing. And this is exactly what you need to learn a language. So we're coming to the end, but I'm pleased that I can offer you the opportunity to keep learning with me. This doesn't need to be the end of your learning with Adept English. Let's move on to Rule 7. Rule 7 is just as important as the other rules. In fact, it's so important, it's given its name to the whole system of learning, which is Adept English. So Rule 7 says, learn adeptly. The word adept means skilled or proficient at something, accomplished or expert at it, really good at something, in other words. That's adept. So you could be adept at riding a bike, adept at mathematics, or adept at playing the piano. So here the aim is for you to become adept at understanding English and speaking English. The aim is for English to become an automatic skill, something you don't even need to think about. You just do it. But the word adept in this context is also talking about the method of learning. If you learn English adeptly, it means that you're not taking the long way round to learn a language. People can spend 3, 5, 8 or 10 years learning English and not really feel as though they've made much progress. You don't need to be one of those people. You don't need to take years to learn English. So Rule 7, learn adeptly, also means that this is a quicker, more intelligent way to learn a language. The Adept English method of learning gets you more quickly to your goal. So adept refers not only to the goal, where we want you to be adept at understanding and speaking English, the word adept also refers to the method of teaching and learning, which we use and you can benefit from. An example of this adept teaching? Our most common 500 words course. It's estimated that the 100 most used words in English make up 50% of our conversation, and the most common 500 words in English make up 75% of our conversation. And yet there are people who've been learning English for up to 10 years who still don't know the 500 most common words. Bingo! We have a course that helps you with this. And a little bonus, a little extra, we actually give you the most common 600 words. You could argue over what the most common words in English are, but we don't waste time on that. We've taken a view on it and we just give you a course with all the extremely common words. Take that course and there will be no gaps in your basic English vocabulary once you've done that course. That's an example of adept learning. And the rest of the 7 rules content, which you know by now. If you respect the way that your brain works and use methods which help you build that English part of your brain, you will learn more adeptly. Want to be fluent? Want to understand and speak English without thinking about it? That's never going to happen without practice. And the material to practice with is exactly what Adept English gives you. Adept English is also adept because it makes sure you're listening to English as it's really spoken, with idioms, with real-life conversations and topics and phrases that are used all the time. It's genuine, authentic English. With Adept English, you don't find that big difference between what you hear in the classroom, on your language course, and real life. Adept English is real life. The English that you hear in Adept English podcasts and courses and episodes is the same that you'll hear in the street, in the cafe, in the pub. I'm a real person and a real English speaker. And a lot of the time in the podcasts, I'm covering news stories, things that happened just the week before. So the vocabulary I'm using is always current. It refers to things that are happening right here, right now. If you don't practice with authentic English, English as it's really spoken, then you're going to have problems when you try to watch an English film or when you try to join a conversation with English speakers. It's no good learning classroom English and then expecting to make some huge jump when you're in real life. You need to listen to genuine, authentic English from a native speaker, even with a slight accent, for practice. And remember, traditional language courses give equal attention to reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Those help you become good at passing exams, but they don't help you to become fluent. So adept learning means you focus on exactly what you need to be able to understand and speak fluently. Fluent means it flows like a liquid. Imagine that English flowing out of your mouth. If you have the opportunity to live in an English-speaking country and speak English every day, that's great. You will learn quickly. But most English language learners don't live in an English-speaking country, so we provide the next best thing. We're often asked, where does Adept English fit in my language learning journey? Well, the only people that we really can't help are absolute beginners, people with no English at all. If you really are a beginner, I suggest go and do some basic English learning and come back to us later when you're ready to work on your fluency. And I would suggest that you start with the most common 500 words course. If your understanding is good, but you struggle to speak, to make conversation in English, then new Activate Your Listening is where to start. And the other thing to do, if you're great at understanding, but you don't speak well, this is outside of what we do, but this is what I always advise. Get yourself an online language partner. What do I mean? Find someone who speaks English who wants to learn your language, or find someone else who is also learning English so you can practice your speaking together. You could set up a regular weekly session online to practice. And there are websites like Conversation Exchange to help you find someone. It's so much easier practicing with another learner who completely understands your difficulties because they're having them too. Adept English can prepare the ground for speaking. We help you get to fluency of understanding, and fluency of understanding makes that move to speaking fluently so much easier and much quicker. But you do need to practice speaking. All those new connections in your brain that we've helped you build, well, practicing speaking helps you join the connections to your mouth. Speaking English becomes so much more enjoyable, much less fear and embarrassment when you've done the preparation of becoming good at understanding. So you need to do that part yourself. And if you're living in an English-speaking country, even better. You've got a great advantage, but we can still help you raise your level. Even people who are really good, really adept already at speaking English, still keep their English polished and up to the minute with our subscription service. And if you want to work on your pronunciation, we have a course for that too. A course which helps make sure you don't get caught out by pronunciation. All of it's on our website, adeptenglish.com. And if you've listened to our podcast for years and you would like your own library of Adept English podcasts, without an ongoing subscription, all downloaded to your mobile phone forever, we have our podcast download service. Just look for the podcast bundles on our website. What I know for sure, if you use the advice that I've given you in the 7 Rules course, you will be learning adeptly and your level of English will improve. All the courses, podcasts, and the subscription episodes respect the 7 rules and help you put them into practice. And remember, all of it is risk-free. On our courses, we give a money-back guarantee, and you can stop our subscription service at any time, so there's no risk. Just before I finish, do you want to hear a scary statistic? Traditional language learning methods have a shocking 90 to 95% failure rate. This is because they don't focus on the right things. Forget classrooms, textbooks, vocabulary lists, and apps. And forget hoping to magically pick up English very quickly. Learning a language really isn't complicated. Your brain is just waiting for the right method. It's all about listening and what we call immersion. That means immersing yourself in the language, just like you might immerse your body in a swimming pool. So, you have a decision to make. Are you ready to improve your English the easy way, the way your brain will thank you for? Or are you going to carry on learning English the hard way? Sounds like what we call a no-brainer in English. So go to our website and try one of our courses or our podcast bundles. For those of you who signed up for the 7 Rules course with your email address and listened right to the end, there are discount vouchers in the final email, the one that comes with Rule 7. And if you just want lots of quality English language content that's new and up to the minute, just open Spotify or Apple Podcasts, search for Adept English, subscribe, and start listening. So Rule 7 of the 7 Rules of Adept English says, learn adeptly. And this really covers the whole course and our whole approach. If you use the right method, it doesn't need to take years to learn English. Thank you very much for letting me be your teacher on this 7 Rules course, and I look forward to working with you some more. Goodbye for now.